Well, today marks the 11-month anniversary of my returning to the island after writing a document called Dear British Columbia Residents. 14 years after being here, where a doctor said right after filling out forms that my medical is all good, when he helped also to launder money to one of his other doctor friends to go work in Japan, and then probably contacted them, said he changed his mind when I did something that was not dishonest, but that fit what is good for managing my life. And then he said in the letter a day after the other one, where I'm all good to go, Martin could not make it in British Columbia, so he's returning to live with his parents or whatever. You know, like it was a vengeful thing because I didn't do what he wanted me to do, was to take things one step at a time based on his life plan for me. That people think I have mental illness. Anyways, that was a few years ago, and there was a few projections, you know, that my theory made, and they're all true. In the 11 months I've gathered data of Vancouver Island in relation to people I didn't know and in relation to people I did know. Right now, I still have to do laundry pretty far because the laundromat in Parksville is still not opened. And it's very likely the main causes are greed and all stakeholders refusing the very concept of accountability with maximum effort, right? So it's pretty sad. Here they're building a roundabout, and it's taken so many months. And I think, well, Qualicum Beach, Parksville, they're so not ready for the climate catastrophes that they've helped to create that workers that could have been preparing roads and fixing roads for the climate catastrophe changes that are coming, but that are stuck here for so long. And people think something wrong with me, you know, these developmental disabilities that you guys have, and you can't deviate from your norm as the world is crumbling around you. It's pretty sad to see this. In the last 48 hours, there's been some specifically sadder things happening to me. And again, you know, it makes me have to spend a lot of energy in the balance between sadness and anger, so I can be functional and still a very stable and to the point kind of person, right? In control of his life and in control of situations so they don't escalate. I have to do that for you because you believe yourselves in positions of authority where you're better than I am at this, when you are not when reality comes knocking on the door. So recently, you know, again, you know, when I in the past talked about how people are excited about, you know, eco-villages or smaller communities, I've seen again the developmental disability of the incongruences involved there. I've seen the Ministry of Poverty Creation still cause many additional hardships in my life, thinking it's a game, who's gonna, you know, do what the other one asked of the other, and just so they can launder more money among each other to possibly provide a short-term solution to a problem. And so, you know, it's very, very strange. You know, religious organizations still not walking the talk and presenting them the evidence that I'm walking the talk of their beliefs and values more than they are is not something they're ready to face. There's also, you know, the occasional preemptive strike that comes against me when people know that I'm a competent observer or a smart person. And no matter how much, you know, their assumptions are pointed out to them, and there's data to prove I'm a nice, considered person to their communities, it's not, I'm different than them. I bring up reality. I have a confidence that is uncomfortable for them, so there must be something wrong with me. Because, you know, if they're uncomfortable with me, even though I'm right and I'm kind and I'm compassionate and I role model to them things they should already know in their roles, it's not, it can be, you know, that there's not something wrong with Martin because we feel uncomfortable, and it's all about our feelings as inadequate, unacknowledged, developmentally disabled people. So it's very, very sad, you know, that places where I thought I was starting to be appreciated, but again, shut down my voice, you know, harm my reputation, go against the things they promise they want to collaborate with me on. That's the hardest thing, right? They know they need it, I say, well, don't do this because it'll defeat how I'm trying to help you and as you are accepting my help. And they still do what defeats for their culture the way I'm trying to help them, as they occasionally, some of them sometimes realize, yeah, we need this kind of help, and they still misdefine it. They still don't understand that it includes them. You're now at 99.7% of you suffering from extreme HSD. I haven't found anybody in that 0.4% actually, so if you've interacted with me, don't think you are one of them. You are one of the people that are breaking your culture. I predict in the next 3 years on the island, other than fires, the devastation that will come here for multiple things that are accelerating at this time that you guys are still wearing your rose-colored glasses on. It's breaking my heart big time. I've also noticed people I used to know that were long-term friends, how their minds are really not functioning better, in relation to things like vaccines. And I'm not saying that I agree with everything or everything is perfect about that, but how, this is how people suddenly decide to stand up for something, and it's totally not the right things to be standing up for. It totally proves to everybody that's an outside observer, like an ecocentric humanist. I haven't met another Homo sapien like that yet. It proves that the universe revolves around them, is they are scientifically illiterate. They don't get the big picture of all the interconnections. And again, it's not at all what they should be protesting for with everything that's happening in the real world, right? Not just in their limited world of still fighting to get back to their status quo. It's pretty sad that people think Canada is a developed country when it isn't, because we're social creatures who have, decades ago, as a species, lost the ability to access our higher functions. It's pretty sad.